Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. This is Santan Ford's Activate the Valley, presented by Gila River Resorts and Casinos, Arizona State's official sports headquarters, and Santan Ford. We are Santan Ford.
Every Friday morning, we get to talk ASU football with the head coach of the program, Kenny Dillingham. The coach of the Sun Devils joins us here on Bickley Marotta Mornings. Coach, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you about yourself?
Yeah, we're doing well. Starting with last week's game, your exasperation after the game was warranted, and your quotes kind of rang with me that when you said, "Hey, I knew this wouldn't be easy, but this has really been a challenge from a lot of different aspects, and nightmarish was kind of a way to describe that game last week." How pleased are you with the way your team has shown resolve and bounced back in preparation for USC after that game, Kenny?
Yeah, our guys are working. I mean, that's the one thing that they've never wavered from is they're working. I actually think they put in more work this week than they have in weeks prior, specifically offensively. We show up to our team meeting on Monday morning and, every single offensive player is there 10 minutes early. And it just showed that, if you want change, if you want a different result, you've got to do something different. And those guys showing up early showed the signs early in the week that they want a different result. So I've been really, really happy with how those guys have responded.
All right, now you've taken over play calling duties for the offense this week, and certainly I'm not going to ask you to give away the game plan, but tell me what you think this adjustment might look and feel like this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing is not about the quote-unquote play calling. The big thing was, I felt like offensively we needed, a poke. We needed some motivation, and me being over there more and just engulfing myself in it was what I felt like we needed as a football team. And so I made that decision to do that, engulf myself in it, go all in on it. And if I'm going to be all in on it and I'm going to be over there more, I may as well do what I'm good at. So that was kind of the thought process behind it. It had nothing to do with anything other than I just felt like we needed a spark. There won't be much changes to what philosophically what we do offensively from that standpoint. It's just going to be, I think, our guys put more detail and more effort into this week than they have in priors.
Kenny Dillingham, the head coach of the Arizona State Sun Devils, our guest here on Bickley and Marotta Mornings. The quarterback position, you've gone through a bunch of them so far due to circumstances. There was a report earlier this morning that Drew Pyne will get the start against USC. Is that indeed the case? And what have you seen from Drew in his preparation for this game?
Yeah, it is. Obviously, Jaden and Trenton are still out. Drew's going to be the starter, and he's done a really good job prepping this week. First time, obviously, he started a lot of games, played a lot of games at Notre Dame, won a lot of games at Notre Dame. This will be his first start coming off, his own injuries earlier in this process. So I'm excited for him. I think he's extremely dialed in to what we're trying to get accomplished this week. From a schematic standpoint, I think he understands the looks he's going to receive. So now it's just going out there and executing.
All right, we know that you're a fighter, Kenny. We know you don't back down from a challenge. I want to ask you about this, building up your team's confidence level, because maybe young kids can look at their early failures. They can look at the point spread. They can look at how vaunted USC is and how decorated their quarterback is. How do you build belief that this is not a mismatch? How do you build that kind of belief that will translate to the football field this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I always want to play competition. Like, if you don't want to play the best, like if you go to the gym and you want to play pickup one-on-one and there's three people there and you pick the worst player because you want to go have the most, score the most points or win the most games, golly, like that is cowardly. Like, I want to pick the person that I should barely ever beat and go make that person play me 15 times and eventually scratch his eyes out and win. And that is my mindset in everything we do. And that's our mindset is we want to take on the best in the country and do everything we can to win the football game. Plain and simple. And that's how I'll always be. I'll never be the person that wants the easy way out. I want the hard way. I want the way that's nasty. I want the way that's ugly. I want the way that's difficult. I want the way that people don't like. And eventually when you do that, you build calluses. And when you build enough calluses, right, it doesn't hurt anymore. and that's the challenge.
Kenny Dillingham, the head coach of ASU, our guest here on Arizona Sports. Injuries have been such a big part of it. Are you getting anybody back that has missed time? How healthy is the Sun Devils roster getting going into Week 4, Kenny?
Yeah, we're down 10 starters, but I think we got some guys back. We'll get Anthony Cooper back inside, but we'll lose Clayton Smith outside. I would like to say we're getting healthy, but that's not real. We're just kind of subbing people in and subbing people out. But the guys that are healthy, the guys that are playing, they've put in a ton of work. They have done a phenomenal job. I mean, especially up front. I mean, we're down 4 guys up front, and we have guys playing that we were projecting to redshirt, or guys that are in development stage, and it's great for them because their growth, Bram Walden's growth from never playing a college football game to then starting in week 2 to how he is now. He's 2 different players. And for the future, all of those guys getting these reps is unbelievable for the future of the program. There's just a little bit of growing pains with it, which is not fun, but it's unbelievable to see those guys progress the way they are, being kind of thrown into action.
All right, so now Saturday night it's going to be, I think, moderate temperature-wise. Do you want to appeal to the fan base, Kenny, to get them out and maybe give you guys some fuel?
Yeah, I mean, it's a home field advantage. It really is, but we need it. We need every single advantage in this football game. And the home field advantage being loud, this is the team that checks a lot of plays at the line of scrimmage. So if we can be loud, not just on third down, but on first, second, and third down, if we can prevent this team from making all their checks at the line of scrimmage, there is an advantage there. And that's where the fans come into effect. That's where the Valley comes into effect is let's get 3 to 4 false starts. Let's get them to burn 2 timeouts. Let's get them to take 2 delay games with just the noise and the passion that they're not prepared for coming in here.
With this being the Pac-12 opener, and we all know what's happening with the conference, and a lot of teams and programs going their separate ways. I mean, there's a chance, Kenny, and you know it. This is could be the last Arizona State USC matchup ever, if not that, maybe for a very long time. For somebody who grew up here, kind of grew up in Pac-10 and Pac-12 football, I'll say it. I think it stinks. What are your thoughts on this going into what is the last Pac-12 opener for Arizona State football?
Yeah, it's sad. I mean, it's sad from a perspective of all the history of these games are gone after this. These I shouldn't say rivalries, but when you're so regionally close, the rivalries between families and friends, there's more of them because everybody has a friend who went to USC. Everybody at USC has a friend who went to ASU. And when you have those natural, not rivalries, but just fun competition, that's what really college sports is about. So it's sad to see some of that end. But I think in the future, I think people will appreciate that they can get that with other schools over time. But it definitely is sad to see the USCs of the world, the UCLAs of the world, and kind of those games kind of end. But we'll get to be a part of the last one, and that's what's exciting.
Yep. Kenny, thanks so much for the time, Kenny. As always. Good luck, and we'll talk to you next Friday.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too. Kenny Dillingham, the head coach of the Arizona State Sun Devils, our guest. He joins us every Friday. Sun Devils hosting the USC Trojans tomorrow. You can text your thoughts to the FanDuel text line at 620 right now.